Why are human babies born so helpless? Imagine this. A baby horse enters the world and, within an hour, it's already standing on shaky legs. A newborn giraffe survives a 2-meter fall the moment it's born, then gets up and begins learning how to run before predators have a chance to notice it. Even baby chimpanzees instinctively wrap their tiny hands around their mothers for just seconds after birth. Now picture a human baby. It can't walk. It can't talk. It can't even lift its own head. For months, it depends entirely on someone else's FDIC or food, warmth, protection, even survival. If intelligence is evolution's greatest achievement, then why does the smartest species on Earth begin life as one of the weakest? It almost feels backwards. And yet, that apparent weakness may have been the very thing that allowed humans to conquer the planet. To understand why, we need to travel back millions of years, long before cities, languages, or even fire. Our ancient ancestors lived in forests, moving through trees on 4 limbs much like other apes. Their babies were born far more capable than ours because their brains were much smaller, and their bodies weren't built for walking upright. Then everything changed. Our ancestors stood up. Walking on 2 legs freed our hands to carry food, shape stone tools, throw weapons, and eventually build civilizations. It was one of the greatest breakthroughs in evolutionary history. But every breakthrough has a price. As our bodies adapted to walking upright, the pelvis became narrower and more efficient for balancing the body. At almost the same time, something else was happening. Our brains began expanding at an extraordinary rate. Generation after generation, each new child entered the world with a slightly larger brain than the generation before. And eventually, evolution ran into a problem that had no perfect solution. A larger brain meant a larger head. A narrower pelvis meant less room during birth. For many years, scientists believed this was the entire answer. Human babies are born earlier because waiting longer would make childbirth far more dangerous. Today, researchers think the story is even more fascinating. Near the end of pregnancy, a mother's body is working at the edge of its energy limits, while the baby's rapidly growing brain demands more and more fuel. Birth may happen not because of one single reason, but because several biological limits collide at the same moment. Evolution wasn't solving one problem. It was balancing many. The result was unlike anything else in nature. Human babies began arriving before much of their brain development was complete. At birth, your brain is only about 1/4 of its adult size. The rest of the journey happens out here, in the real world. Every voice you hear. Every face you recognize. Every time you fall over while learning to walk. Every bedtime story. Every mistake. Every laugh. They aren't just childhood memories. They are literally helping build your brain. And that's where this story takes an unexpected turn. What if human babies aren't born too early? What if they're born at exactly the right moment? Unlike most animals, whose brains are largely wired before birth, humans spend years shaping their minds through experience. A child born anywhere on Earth can grow up speaking any language, learning any culture, solving entirely different problems, and imagining futures that never existed before. Our greatest survival tool isn't instinct. It's adaptability. Evolution didn't create a newborn that already knew everything. It created one capable of learning almost anything. So perhaps the question isn't why human babies are born so helpless. Perhaps the real question is why we assume helplessness is a weakness. Because every scientist, every artist, every explorer, every inventor, every person who has ever changed history, once entered this world unable to hold up their own head. Maybe that wasn't evolution's greatest compromise. Maybe it was its greatest masterpiece.